Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. I'm your DJ and host, Sam Wilson Jr., and I'm here to bring you the history genre of black music: gospel, jazz, blues, old school classic soul, old school hip hop, today's hip hop and R&B, Caribbean, Latin, Afrobeat, Afro-Latina, blue-eyed soul, disco, go-go, line dances, and the Lost 45s. So come with me as I take you on to a trip to the history genre destination of black music. Right now on the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. Welcome to the Black Soul Music Experience. I'm Sam Wilson Jr., and I have a special guest on my show. And this lady that I'm about to introduce is a singer, songwriter, and musician. She made her debut back in 2013 with her self-titled debut LP. She now has a new single entitled Your Favorite Brown Eyes, which is coming soon to iTunes, and her new EP is dropping soon. Please help me welcome to the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast, ladies and gentlemen, Ndrasa Music.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you so
How?
much. I'm so glad to be here.
Okay, or should I say bonjour?
Bonjour, bonjour. Yes, yes.
Yes, and you are the third Canadian artist I'm interviewing on my
Nice.
show. So I'm just getting used to this is season number 4, in case you may not know. And I'm just branching out to a diversity of musicians here in the United States, in Canada, overseas, whether it's in the UK or
Yeah.
Africa, just to name a few. So I am very delighted to interview you, and my mission is trying to reach out to some independent artists, whether they were on the major record labels or not on the major record labels. So I'm very delighted to interview you on my show.
No, I'm just happy to be here. Thank you again for having me. I
Okay.
appreciate it.
Oh, you welcome. So, as always, America doesn't know who you are. The world doesn't know who you are. So, it's my pleasure to interview you. So, let us begin, shall we? Now, where were you born?
Yeah, that's a good question. I was actually born in Rotterdam, Amsterdam, in the Netherlands, actually, in Europe.
Oh, okay, the Netherlands. Okay, because my Black Soul Music Experience podcast gets picked up by the Netherlands. So,
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. No. Like I said, yeah. So was born out there and then lived in Germany for a bit before heading into Canada.
okay. Now, were your parents in the music industry or did they had 9 to 5 day jobs?
More so 9 to 5 to day jobs for sure. For sure, they work like two jobs each. So for sure, they definitely did 9 to 5. Never in the music industry.
And which high school did you go to?
I went to St. Patrick's High School in Ottawa, Ontario. Yeah.
And which college did you go to?
I attended Algonquin College in Ottawa, Ontario as well. Yeah.
And what was your major in college?
My major in college was I first attended like a general arts and science program, and then went into a multimedia development program that also helped me in regards to different types of media.
Now, who did you want to be when you grow up?
Um, Honestly, yeah, I was always into music, so I always wanted to be someone very successful, like Michael Jackson or Whitney Houston. They definitely were people I definitely wanted to resemble. Like,
Hmm. Now, how old were you when you started singing and writing songs?
um, I started singing when I was about 8, And then writing, I started writing poems, I guess around like eight, yeah, like around nine ish. Like so around eight or nine, and then kind of just kind of went on from there for sure.
Was being a singer and songwriter your calling?
I would like to think so. Yes, it definitely brought me back to music. So for sure, I would like to think so. Yeah, absolutely.
Now, growing up where you're living now in Canada, did Canadian radio played any American artist?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think for the bulk of it, they played like a lot of top 20, top 40, sorry, music, but as well as we did have also specialized radio programs where they did play. I remember when I was growing up. They had this one segment, DJ Scott Boogie, and he had a lot of like R&B and hip hop. So a lot of R&B and hip hop from like Canadian artists back in the day, as well as American artists as well. So like there were shows like that as well that also were pretty big back in the day as well.
Now, growing up, who were some of your favorite singers?
Um, some of my favorite singers, I would say, would be definitely Whitney Houston, and Michael Jackson, Madonna. I definitely was a huge '90s kid. Brandy, I would say Lenny Kravitz, Missy Elliott, Erica Badu. Those were definitely great singers that like again they were all very different, but all had a great like uniqueness to them, to each of them.
And who were your musical influences that had inspired you to sing?
Um, I would definitely, yeah, I would definitely say I would have to go back to Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston for sure. Whitney Houston, like the Patti LaBelle's, definitely, yes, the Erica Badu, Aaliyah, um, a lot of like the '90s R&B, as well as I'm a little bit older as well, for sure.
Now, how did you came up with the name Ndrasa Music, and what does your name mean?
Yeah, for sure. Well, so basically, Drasa is basically my name, but just mixed together. It's actually a pet name that my dad gives me, so it's like a nickname he has always given me when I was young. So I just kind of stuck with it, and it definitely like had like it definitely was still kind of stuck to like kind of more the I guess the Congolese kind of like nicknames or Angolan nicknames that he would provide to us. So definitely, this is just more of a nickname that he would always give me. So I just decided to kind of run with it.
Now, you were in school, played a lot of sports. Were you good at playing sports while you was in school up in Canada?
Yeah. No, I was good. I was all right. I was all right. Like definitely in elementary school, I played quite a bit of basketball. I liked any sport that was pretty much running that had to deal with running. So track and field, high jump, 100 meters. Those were quite the activities I really enjoyed. But yeah, for the most part, I would say I was pretty good. I was pretty decent. There were some sports I was not so good at. Like volleyball, definitely no. But then the basketball, football, handball, all those ones were a lot better for me. They worked out better for me.
Now, how many languages do you sing?
So I primarily sing in English, but I definitely do sing as well in French as well. I'm also trying to also input Portuguese from obviously from where I'm from, Angola, just to kind of practice my Portuguese as well. It is rusty, absolutely. And then also Lingala, which is also a dialect that's spoken in Congo, RDC or Republic, Democratic Republic of Congo. And also, just so in that way I can practice that more as well. So yeah, those are kind of the main ones that I do put into my music that like I sing in as well.
Now, let's talk about your self titled debut LP, which was released back in 2013. What was your LP consist of? Was it classic soul or today's R&B or jazz or neo soul?
Yeah, for sure. So back then, I it was kind of like a really cool mixture of R&B, but then there was also a rock element and alternative. So it kind of went on the board of like alternative R&B and then like pop and rock, which allowed me to experiment and also like work with like live bands as well. So which was a really cool experience to go through. So that was kind of like the route that I took previously for my self-titled album back in 2013.
Hmm. Now, have you been on to any music tours by that time back in 2013 before the start of the pandemic in 2020?
It was more so local in the Ottawa Gatineau region and area. I did more of like local shows and a festival, and I did also perform alongside another artist for their Set 4 festival, a four song that we also collaborated on. I would say it was more so like, yeah, it was more so local rather than outside the city.
Now, let's talk about your new single, Your Favorite Brown Eyes, which will be dropping soon to iTunes. Please tell our audience on what that song is all about.
Yeah, okay, so basically, how I came to write this song, it was supposed to be a cute, playful song, but essentially, it is the message behind the song is that it's a couple that they mutually like each other, essentially, and um, now in this, in nowadays, like, love is a little bit complicated than it used to be. Now it's more so, one of the individuals is kind of, their feet are not, is feet is not planted just as of yet. They're finding it a hard time to commit just as of yet. The other person's like, time is ticking. They're kind of wanting, a certain for sure answer. So it's kind of saying, hurry up, you're going to miss me, you're going to miss your favorite brown eyes, I might walk out that door. But, it's not saying that you don't like this person, it's just saying, like, look, like I'd love to stay, but, if you don't work fast enough, I got to go. So, yeah.
Mhm. Now, let's talk about your new EP. I'm just trying to get used to these new titles, EP. Me growing up, we say LP. Now I'm seeing
Right?
EP. Let's
Yes.
talk about your new EP called Red Wine Music. Who are the producers of your new EP and how many tracks that you written?
Yeah, so the good thing is I've written most of the tracks, which is great. And we're starting just to work on a bunch of songs that we're trying to release for that project. The producer that I work alongside with is a producer, Curtis, the chef from Vancouver. He's helped me a great deal in regards to co-producing. It's actually my first time producing on a on an album or musical project. So this was the first song that I produced and that he co-produced and helped me construct it. And really put the song and sound together. So he definitely helps me with most of the production for it, for sure. I definitely have we do have other producers that are also in line as well, but we're just trying to, figure out kind of what sounds are kind of working and so forth. But so far, he, as well as other Canadian producers across Canada that we're also working alongside with as well.
Now, here's a question I forgot to put on there. Do
Yeah.
you have any guest artists on your new EP?
Um, I don't have any guest artists as of now, but like I said, on my EP, more so it's just concentrating more so just on the sound and putting kind of like the like kind of like my musical imprint out there. But for now, no guest stars just yet, but definitely open to it for sure, absolutely, but for now, we just it's just us for now.
Okay. Like I said, I'm just trying to get used to this EP thing. So I interviewed a guest back in March, Malika Powell. She has an EP, so
Okay.
I wanted her to explain to me what is EP. So I don't even know what it is. So me growing up, when you think of LP, it's like the regular album, the 33 and a half LP.
Yes.
Now I'm getting used to this EP thing, so I'm just trying to figure out what that means. It's like, is it like an extended play? Is it like 6 or 7 tracks long, or
Yeah, it's kind of it's about like 25 minutes or less, kind of like a mix of like it could be a mix of demo recordings as well as just like song recordings as well. Um, I think with the full length studio, I think it just qualifies. I think it's just really in regards to how many minutes that like it really is it constituted inside of an EP or an album, but really and truly, from what I understood, the EP was is just like it's just not like a mixtape more so, but it kind of is similar to kind of how like a mixtape is, where it's just kind of a compilation of that person's kind of art and like like you said, you know, their their musical kind of like you said, thumbprint or footprint into the world. So then that way you can kind of see, okay, this is what they're kind of all about, or this is their genre, this is kind of their I guess their, you know what I mean, their music in that sense. But yeah, no, for when it comes to EPs, like I said, for you and I both, I literally thought EP and album were the same thing. But like I said, I was told different. It's 25 minutes or less. That's one of the things, but who knows, you know? I was like, who knows? Who knows?
okay. Now, on your new EP, is it kind of like the same tradition that you had on your debut LP back in 2013, or is it going to be like a different sound of music on your new EP?
Yeah, for sure. The new EP is definitely going to have a different sound. It's definitely going to be more of a sound of how I grew up, and like combine of like the sounds that I am so accustomed of growing up with, a mix of like music from when I was younger from back home, like Angola and Congo. So like a little bit of a fusion of like a little bit of music like kizomba and wenge, and things like that. As well as growing up with the '90s R&B music, and influences like the Genuine, the Leah, the Missy Elliott's, the SWVs, Total, TLC, and so forth. And also kind of like the music, classical music from like, the best, obviously, the Tina Turners and so forth. My it's basically just I grew up with an eclectic music sense. My dad was more he loved the techno music and so forth, so that the like the Annie Lennox, the Eurythmics, and David Bowie. So, and my mom was more Tina Turner, Salt and Pepper, and so forth. So, having those two sides of the world really definitely helped me cultivate kind of the sound I want to go for this. For Red Wine Music, and this one, it is like a kind of a mixture of all the influences I've had of when I was growing up, but also just kind of a relaxed, kind of laid back approach where it's that type of music where as soon as you get off work you can kind of put on and wind down to it and however you prefer, like I said. But it's just kind of like a laid back vibe to it. um, it's yeah, it's just like kind of comfort music. It's just really music that talks about everyday things, but like I said, to a really danceable but unhummable, catchy kind of beat and groove to it as well. So yeah.
So it'll be kind of like a mixture of some dance tunes and some slow jams.
Yes, yes, exactly, exactly. That's exactly it. Yes, yes. Dance tunes and some slow jams. So it like everyone can dance to it. So, it like it. There's like anyone can dance to it. You don't have to dance to it in a particular way. It's just basically it's kind of inhibited. It's more something like how your body moves to it. So that's pretty much kind of how the vibes I wanted to put out. It's kind of tailored to everyone. It's like a one size fits all.
Okay. Now, here's a question that I always ask my guests: living or dead, which singer you wish you wanted to meet or to perform with?
Oh man. Um, living or dead, living or dead. I, there's so many people that passed I would love to work with, obviously. Um, I'll give one of each just because I can't. So, um, a a person that I obviously would love to work with obviously would have been Whitney Houston, hands down. Rest in peace. And someone alive that I would love to work with would be Erica Badu.
Mm,
Yeah, I would say those two.
okay. Now, here on the Black Soul Music Experience, I always ask my guests who are the top 10 R&B black singers of all time. So since I have you, Draza, on my show, I'm just going to break it down for you on here's how it works.
Okay.
It's kind of like the top 10, like the show America's Top 10, hosted by the late Casey Kasem. You
Okay.
starts at number 10, the bottom five. We get to start at number 10. We find out which was some of the best singers, but didn't get any recognition. And then when we get to the top five, we're going to find out who was the best singer of all time. Did that artist had their top 10 number one hits? Did that artist receive a gold or platinum or double platinum or triple platinum or today's diamond platinum? Did that artist receive a Grammy Award or an American Music Award or a Soul Train Award or a BET Award or an MTV VMA Award? That artist got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Or did that artist performed on American Bandstand, or Soul Train, or The Midnight Special, or Solid Gold, or NBC Saturday Night Live? Or did that artist had their own primetime special on CBS or NBC or ABC? Or did they had that special on PBS, whether it's great performances or they had that special on PBS during Pledge Month? Or did they had that live concert special on HBO or Showtime? So, Draza, are you ready to take that challenge?
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay. Who should be at number 10?
Ooh, number 10, number 10, number 10. Oof. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to have to go with. You said of all time, right? Of all time?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Otis Redding.
Ah, yes, the one and only Otis Redding, part of the Stax family back in the 60s. He is best known for some hits, including his song Respect, although it didn't become a hit for him, but it became a hit for the late Aretha Franklin with her number one hit. He had other tunes, including Try a Little Tenderness and his number one hit, Sitting on the Dock of the Bay. It was his number one hit back in March of 1968, although that song was released after he died in a plane crash in December of 1967. But he won a Grammy for Best R&B Soul Hit Pop Vocal Performance, and yes, it was his only number one hit on Billboard's Hot 100 Pop Singles charts and also number one on Billboard's Soul Singles charts. So we'll put Otis Redding at number 10. Who should be at number 9?
Okay. And number 9. All time, all time, all time, all time. Okay, for me, number 9, it'll have to be It'll have to be D'Angelo.
Ah, D'Angelo, representing Neo Soul, made
Yes.
his debut back in 1996 with a song called Brown Sugar. When I saw that music video with on that Hammond organ key, I was like, oh, so this is D'Angelo bringing in neo soul. So I never tried to figure out what is neo soul. And then when I was looking at the Coca Cola commercial, they say new classic soul. I said, oh, so that's neo soul. Okay. So D'Angelo made his debut with Brown Sugar. He did the remake of Smokey Robinson's Cruisin'. And then I saw that music video when he was all naked with a song called How Does It Feel? So I
Anta.
was like, oh, okay, he got a lot of airplay and a lot of video airplay as well. So we'll put D'Angelo at number 9. All right, who should be at number 8?
Okay, so number 8, one of my all-time faves. Love her music. Toni Braxton.
Ah, the one and only Toni Braxton, representing Severn, Maryland, part of the Braxton sisters, made her debut back in the summer of 1992 with that song called Love Should Have Brought You Home Last Night. That was from the Boomerang soundtrack back in 1992. And she had her debut LP on the LaFace Arista Records label back in 1993 with some other hits, including It's Just Another Sad Love Song Wrecking My Brains Like Crazy. Love that debut song. She had other songs, including 7 Whole Days. Now the work from you. 7 whole nights. I love it. And had some other songs. You Mean the World to Me. Her second LP, Secrets, which is had her song called You Making Me High. And then Unbreak My Heart. Say You Love Me Again. I saw that music video where they had Tyson Beckford in that
Yes.
music video. So I
Yes.
was like, oh, okay. And she had some other hits as well as follows, but she had some other hits back in the later '90s, going to the early 2000s, but nothing can compare to her major breakthrough back in the
Yeah.
mid '90s. So I'm putting Toni Braxton at number 8. All right, who should be at number 7?
Number 7, Al Green.
Ah, the one and only, the Reverend Al Green. He made his debut back in 1971 with his LP called Let's Stay Together. His debut song, Let's Stay Together, was released back in late 1971, went to number 1 on Billboard's Hot 100 Pop Singles charts back in January 1972. And he had some other songs on that album, including the remake of the Bee Gees' How Can You Mend a
A
Broken
Broken
Heart.
Heart.
His
Yes.
other LP in 1972, I'm Still in Love with You. He had some hits, including I'm Still in Love with You, Love, and Happiness. He did the remake of Roy Orbison's Pretty Woman, and yes, Simply Beautiful. So my late mom had that LP, so she was playing the heck out of that album. So
I
he
bet.
had he had some other hits during the 70s, and then by the 80s he changed up to some gospel tunes. He had some gospel songs from his LP I Get Joy. He had songs including I Get Joy, As Long as We're Together, Mighty Clouds of Joy, just to name a few. And yes, his other LP, Soul Survivor, with his song I Know That Everything Is Gonna Be Alright. He's coming back
Yeah.
like he said he would. Love that chorus. And yes, so Al Green is still performing. been
Yeah.
inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for the class of 1994. So we'll put Al Green at number 7. All right, who should be at number 6?
Number 6, I am thinking Brandy.
Ah, the one and only Brandy. We all knew her as Brandy Noah, but we know her as Brandy. Made her debut back in 1994 on a TV series called Thea, which aired on ABC back in 1993. We knew her as Brandy Norwood. That's her whole name. But I would never knew that she would come out in the music video in 1994. I said, "Is that Brandy? The Brandy that we knew from a TV show? Oh, she can sing. Oh, okay. She got a lot of singing chops." So, with her self titled debut LP, Brandy, on the Atlantic label back in 1994, her first video song, "I Wanna Be Down with What You're Going Through. I Wanna Be Down. I Wanna Be Down with You." So that they had two versions of the music video. They had the original one, and then you had the rap version with MC Light and Queen Latifah and Yo Yo. I was like, oh. So she had the regular version and you had the alternative rap version. So I was like, oh, okay. Some two different versions. So she had some other hits on her debut LP, including Best Friend, Baby, Broken Hearted, with special guest Wanya Morris of Boys to Men. Her second LP with Never Say Never, with that hit The Boy Is Mine, with special guest Brandy. And like in between music, she went back to TV with her hit Moesha, which
Yes.
aired on UPN, which is now the CW. Had other hits including Full Moon, What About Us, just to name a few. So she's been doing music and doing acting at the same time as well. So we'll put Brandy at number 6. Won an American Music Award for Best New Artist. Won a Grammy Award for the song "The Boy Is Mine," featuring uh Miss Thang. Yes, Monica.
Hi,
Yes,
Monica.
just one of them days. Yeah. So we'll put Brandy at number 6. All right, who should be at number 5?
Number 5, it's actually a group. Um, Very underrated, but like amazing. Drew Hill.
Ah, yes, Drew Hill. They made their debut back in 1996 with their song "Somebody's Sleeping in My Bed." They had the slow jam version, but then
Yes.
they had the
So,
remix
so dope.
with the Brat and Jermaine Dupri. So they made a little
Yes.
danceable tune. And they had other songs, including Five Steps, and they had another song that's from the movie Rush Hour. So I forgot the name of the song,
Yes.
but it'll come to me when I start
How
playing
Deep
it.
Is Your Love? How Deep
Yes,
Is Your
yes,
Love?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Then they had the one in Soul Food. We're Not Making Love
Ah,
anymore.
yes. I was
Yes.
gonna say that. Yes,
That one's a really good one. I love that one.
yes. So we'll put Drew Hill at number 5. All right, who should be at number 4?
Number 4, Mary J. Blige.
Ah, the queen of hip hop soul, Mary J. Blige, representing the Boogie Down Bronx, New York. She made her debut back in 1992 with her debut LP, "What's the 411?" She had some hits, including "You Remind Me," which had the original version, and then they had the remix. And she had other songs on there, including "What's the 411?" and the remake of "Sweet Thing." And just to name a few, she had her second album, My Life, which includes the song "My Life," which was sampled from the late Roy Ayers' "Everybody Loves the Sunshine." Did that intro. And then the other one called "Be Happy, and I did the other one, You Bring Me Joy, which was sampled off from the late Barry White, is Ecstasy When You Lay Down Next to Me, just to name a few. And yes, she had some other hits as well. She'll be known for some of the new songs over old stuff.
No, for sure. Absolutely.
Yes. So we'll put Mary J. Blige, the queen of hip hop soul, at number 4. Who should be at number 3?
Number 3, I wanted to put Janet Jackson.
Janet Jackson made her debut, but before that, she did a little acting along with her brothers, performing at the MGM Grand Hotel back in 1974. They had their summer variety series. Janet, along with Latoya and Rebe and all the brothers, made their debut their summer variety series on CBS. And then Janet Jackson started continuing acting. She played the role of Penny on Good Times. And then later she joined the cast of Fame for season 3, which was later in syndication. And then by that time went on singing. With her self-titled debut LP, Janet Jackson, although it didn't make that huge success. When she got to her second LP called Control, produced by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, the Minneapolis Sound, she had her debut single called What Have You Done For Me Lately? And her other song, including When I Think of You and Control, and her couple of her
I
slow
think it's like
jams, including
nasty. Yeah,
Funny,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and her slow jams, including Funny, How Time Flies When You're Having Fun, and then
Yeah.
her other song, Let's Wait a While. Breakthrough hit. She Her album has sold over 1 million copies in print. She won an American Music Award and was nominated for a Grammy for that second LP. Her other songs have followed her, including Rhythm Nation 1814 with the song I Miss You Much, and then follow up with Escapade, Love Will Never Do Without You, and her ballad Come Back to Me. And another album, self titled Janet, with a song That's the Way Love Goes,
Yeah.
and her other songs, just to name a few, and her other song, The Velvet Rope, which was the name of the LP. They were doing sampling off of Joni Mitchell's Good Till You Got Till It's Gone.
Yes.
So, along with
Yes.
Q Tip, just to name a few. She did some other acting in movies, including Poetic Justice
Yeah.
and some television appearances. She appeared on an episode of Different Strokes on NBC, just to name a few. Got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for the class of 2019. So, and I got a chance to see Janet Jackson in person during Harlem Week back in 2019 for the first time, and then by all of a sudden it started to rain. So I was at West
Oh.
135th Street during
Oh
Harlem Week. So
no.
I got a chance to see Janet Jackson up close and personal. So I got a chance to see her. I think I took a picture of it, but by the time it started raining.
Raining.
Yep.
Oh
So
no.
we'll put
Well, at least you
Janet.
got to see her. Yeah.
Yes. And yes, forgot to mention she appeared on NBC Saturday Night Live. She was the guest host as well as the musical guest host back in March of 2004. So this was her first time doing that after that, that scandal during the Super Bowl,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
something
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So she
Okay.
Yeah, so that was 2004. Although I didn't get a chance to see the whole episode, I wanted to see that whole
No.
episode. But
No.
my late mother wanted me to watch something else, so I went to bed. So hopefully they will have that on an SNL Encore somewhere.
No. For
So we'll
sure.
put
Absolutely.
yeah, so we'll put Janet Jackson at number 3. All right, who should be at number 2?
Okay. Number 2, Whitney Houston.
The Princess of Pop, the late Whitney Houston, made her debut back in 1985, coming out of East Orange, New Jersey. She is the daughter of the late Cissy Houston and the cousin of Miss Dionne Warwick and Dee Dee Warwick. She made her debut back in 1985 with a song called Hold Me in Your Arms Tonight by the late Teddy Pendergrass. And then her self titled debut LP had some hits, including You Give Good Love, How Will I Know, Saving All My Love, and the remake of The Greatest Love of All. Her debut LP sold over 1 million copies in print. She won a Grammy and an American Music Award for Best New Artist. Her second LP, Whitney, had some hits, including Oh, I Wanna Dance with Somebody, and her other hits, including Where Do Broken Hearts Go, Didn't We Almost Had It All, So Emotional, and the remake of the Isley Brothers For the Love of You. Had her other LP, I'm Your Baby Tonight. She had a couple of songs, including I'm Your Baby Tonight and Miracle. And then by 1991, she performed at Super Bowl 25 with her version of the Star Spangled Banner. This was the time when all of our U.S. troops were in Iran, Operation Desert Storm. That was her rendition of the Star Spangled Banner.
Yeah.
And I was watching VH1's 100 Greatest Moments of Rock and Roll on television. That was at number 59, the Star Spangled Banner, Whitney Houston. She made some acting debuts in 1992, The Bodyguard, and in 1995, Waiting to Exhale, and in 1996, The Preacher's Wife, which was the remake of the original movie The Bishop's Wife. And she was on Saturday Night Live, including that Christmas skit. And the guest host was Rosie O'Donnell and the late Penny Marshall. Love that Christmas skit when Molly Shannon comes up with her character sister Mary Catherine Gallagher and then bring those to the chairs. So Whitney does it all. She can sing, she can act, and she was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for the class of 2020. So rest in peace to the Princess of Pop, the late Whitney Houston.
Yes, rest in peace.
All right, yes. Who should be at number one?
Number one is someone that I've definitely gotten a lot of heavy influences from. And again, she's just made so many accolades and accomplishments and has inspired a lot of the artists that I've listed. Patti LaBelle.
Ah, yes, the one and only Patti LaBelle, representing Philly, PA, the city of brotherly love, born and bred. Now, I didn't know that Patti LaBelle started out in the late 60s when she was the lead singer called Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells, which had Nona Hendrix, the late Sarah Dash, and Cindy Birdsong, who later left the group to replace the late Florence Ballard for Diana Ross and the Supremes. So it was just Patti and Sarah and Nona. When they got into the 70s, they were doing duets with the late Laura Nyro. But then in 1974, with their breakthrough LP, Nighthawks, they had that song called Lady Marmalade. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi, ce soir? And when I saw them perform, I was like, they were in that outrageous space outfits. I was like, whoa. So they were throwing down. So they had some hits. Lady Marmalade, What Can You Do For Me? And then they had their second LP, Chameleon, which includes Get You Somebody New and Ain't That a Shame. And then they all split up. Patti LaBelle went on to stardom, including some hits, including Music Is My Light. And when she got to her LP, her album called I'm in Love Again on the Philly International CBS label, she had two hits, including Love and Need and Want You, and her number one hit, If Only You Knew. Those are the best love ballads I love from Gamble and Huff. And then by 1985, she did a song called Stir It Up for the movie Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah.
Had her LP, Winner and You, that had the song called All My Own, duet with Michael McDonald. Other hits including Please Come Back and Kiss Away the Pain.
Yeah.
And other hits. So many producers were producing her album, everyone from Prince and so many other artists. So the one and only Patti LaBelle, she'd be best known for some other outrageous stuff. I was watching Motown Returns to the Apollo back in May of 1985 on NBC when she came on stage, and I saw something was on her hair. I was like, what's that? Is that her bouquet hair? I was like, that's a real hair? I'm like, what kind of hair is that? It's like, is that her real hair? It's like bouquet hat or something. I was like, outrageous.
She was a
She'll
showstopper.
be known for her outrageous singing, especially when she'll be kicking off her shoes where someone will be got hit by a shoe. And I got a chance to see Patti LaBelle back in 2002 at the Hampton Coliseum in Hampton, Virginia for the Hampton Jazz Festival. I was with my church members and we were sitting all the way up, all the way up by the upper balcony so we won't get caught by the shoe. So she'll be best known for that. I was saying I wanted to dress up for Patti. Let me get that shoe. I said, let me get that shoe.
You better be ready to get that shoe. Go there with a
Yes.
helmet or something. That's awesome. I would love that. Oh, yeah.
Yes. So we'll put the one and only Miss Patti LaBelle at number one. So there
Yes.
we have our top 10 R&B black artists of all time. Well, Ndrasa, thank you so much for being here on the Black Soul Music Experience podcast. It's been a pleasure talking with you. Thank you for your response. And it's been a pleasure interviewing with you. And please come on back. We would love to have you back for any upcoming projects in the near future. And good luck to the single that's going to be dropping soon. And good luck to the new EP.
Of course. Thank you again. Merci tellement beaucoup. There you go. At least you can leave with some French.
Oh, yes.
But thank you again so much for having me. It's been a pleasure. And like I said, we'll see each other again for sure. Absolutely.
Okay. Now, before we go, where can we follow you for any upcoming events and where can we follow you on social media?
Yeah, so on Instagram, you can follow me at Ndrasa, NDRASA_89TN. You can also search me just with Ndrasa, you'll be able to find me. Even on Facebook, Ndrasa, my handle on TikTok is at Ndrasa Music, NDRASAMUSIC. And also, you can also search for me on Spotify. Your Favorite Brown Eyes is available on all streaming platforms for you as well.
Okay. Download all the artists that we have talked about on this edition of the Black Soul Music Experience podcast. Visit iTunes.com, Spotify.com, or purchase a CD at Amazon.com. Make sure you follow Ndrasa. She's on Instagram at Ndrasa89TN. Look for her on TikTok at Ndrasa Music. Look for her on Facebook and look for her song available on Spotify. And be sure to look for her EP, which will be dropping soon. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to check out this episode, please subscribe by going to the link. The link is riverside.fm/studio/Samuel-Wilson Jr.'s. Don't forget to add the S to the end, -studio. And yes, I will be posting this episode on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And if you have a hard time getting on to riverside.fm, then please become a member and subscribe to patreon.com/the Black Soul Music Experience podcast. Log on to the Patreon homepage. Look out for all of the podcasts that you see on Patreon. go to the top and type in the Black Soul Music Experience and check out all of the audio podcast episodes as well as the video podcast clips that you may have missed. And if you have a hard time getting on to Riverside or Patreon, then I will be posting this episode on YouTube. Make sure you go to youtube.com, go to the homepage, and type in the Black Soul Music Experience podcast. If you like this episode, if you like my podcast, please subscribe, please support, give me a big thumbs up, please leave a comment, and please pass it on. Thank you for joining me as I close out this edition of the Black Soul Music Experience.